Hey, thanks for watching. My name is Jonathan Corley with Sitecore, and this is Personalization in the Age of AI. This was originally presented as a breakout at Sitecore Symposium 2025 in Orlando, which is Sitecore's annual customer event. And as I said, I'm Jonathan. I'm based in Atlanta. I started with Sitecore back in 2017, but I was on the partner side ahead of that. And I look after travel, transportation, and hospitality at Sitecore. I'm on our industry and value advisory team and often work on site with customers in a workshop setting to focus on scaling personalization initiatives or content agility, or these days, more and more I'm talking about how marketing teams can leverage generative AI or new Sitecore AI capabilities to create business value. I think this is such a unique moment in time where suddenly AI has proliferated into all of the software we're using. It's in Outlook or it's in Word. You have the sudden adoption in 2022, 2023 of ChatGPT, where the chart on the left shows OpenAI's ChatGPT hit 1 million active users in just 5 days. That took Instagram or Spotify like 75 or 150 days respectively. On the right-hand side, it shows a path to 100 million users. I think everyone here has certainly interacted with a large language model, and that's the speed of adoption there is just staggering. Now, I checked a couple of months ago, and latest data from OpenAI or ChatGPT, you can see just that hockey stick growth around the time of the launch of deep research or reasoning, where monthly active users doubled from 4 to 800 million. Now, 800 million people in a world of, 8 billion and change humans, it's like 10% of humanity suddenly has access to the entirety of human knowledge. And beyond just interacting with chat interfaces, you saw all of the announcements recently about Sitecore AI. If I go back, rewind just a couple of months, the recent on screen here are just the AI capabilities embedded into Sitecore that have been recently released. And I mean, this list just continues to grow all across the Sitecore product. It's tough to keep track of just how many brand new AI features and capabilities are available for marketing teams to use. So given that context, I want to talk about 3 things today. First, I want to talk about how AI introduces a new world of problems for marketers. I want to share some real-world examples of brands that are using AI to deliver contextually relevant content at scale. And then I'll talk about generative marketing strategies for the age of AI. So you've heard this story a few times throughout Symposium, but on the right-hand side, I have Googled Sitecore Symposium. And you can see Gemini, or Google's AI overview, takes over the entire screen real estate. Analysts are calling that within the next year, organic search traffic will decline by 50% due to AI-powered search. And that begs the question, what can AI not summarize? I mean, all of the summary information on the right, like I see Symposium is this week. It's at Walt Disney World Dolphin Resort. Paul and Jesse, 2 great keynote speakers. I can see some of the a lot of the information about Symposium is summarized for me. I may not even need to click through to go to the site because all of my research and awareness content is done without even accessing the brand's website. So I think Sitecore is uniquely positioned here to deliver experiences that defy summarization. And that'll cause a couple of things to happen. I think marketing teams should deprioritize what I like to call junk food marketing. This is high frequency, low effort content marketing. This would be telling the team to write 50 blogs next quarter or knowledge-based articles and throw it at the wall and see what sticks. Instead, I see an emphasis on low frequency, high effort content marketing, on authentic, personalized or contextually relevant or interactive experiences that truly give customers a reason to interact with your brand across channels. These are memorable experiences that defy summarization. And I've been working often on site. If I go back to like the SBOSS days or to my time on the partner side, I've worked with dozens of different marketing leaders and their teams on personalization planning. That used to be a very high effort, time consuming process. We would go through and map out the customer journey. I remember for this one, there was a 30 or 45 minute discussion about like decide ampersand justify or decide and justify. You've got the engagement value scale there where teams would debate and calibrate a scale of relative value for the top goals on the website. They'd brainstorm them, they would prioritize them, some segment planning and voting, ultimately to arrive on some tactical use case planning where you pick a few key segments and map out some possible personalization strategies and then figure out who can write the content and create it. And I mean, that would take 1 or 2 days to come up with a concrete roadmap plan for some personalization. I'm happy to share this this prompt with your brand, but now with literally the click of a button, you can provide a little bit of context about your industry, and what you're seeing is a fully formed personalization plan for each segment: business travelers, Air Club Platinum members, families. At each stage of the journey, you may speak early while someone's exploring flight routes or comparing amenities. You have a headline or a draft ideation for components at each stage of the journey. And gotta say, the latest frontier models are pretty damn good at marketing and coming up with at least a draft for personalized content. What used to take teams weeks can now be accomplished in minutes or seconds. And we've heard a bit about AEO or GEO, but generative answer engines are absolutely impacting brands today. I've talked to a few marketing leaders even at Symposium this week where they're already recognizing less traffic, but the traffic that does arrive on their site is more qualified. I think that has the capacity to create an artificial lift in conversion rates. So if someone's on your site, they must have a good reason to be there because they're doing a lot of the research on their phones or in the Gemini or the Anthropic or the Copilot interface. And those interfaces, second point here is that they summarize and paraphrase the brand narrative that you worked so hard to carefully craft. This isn't too technical of a session, so there are some emerging best practices for ensuring that these new AI crawlers can parse and understand your content so that you show up in not only on like search engine result ranking, but in the generative text of ChatGPT or Gemini. And finally, like this one's important. Brands that are drawing inspiration from the same open models are starting to sound a lot like each other. I can't count the number of like LinkedIn posts that talk about the ever-evolving digital landscape with an ampersand and an emoji. Like I think there's a real opportunity to be authentic, and I'm sure you've heard the term AI slop. On the left here, it's a little scary or frustrating. Like this is a Google image search for baby peacock. Someone pointed this out on Reddit, and at least 4 of those are AI generated images. You've got the one bottom right that it's pretty cartoony, but if I'm searching for a picture of a bird, I would expect to see a picture of a bird, not AI representations of that. On the right-hand side, I saw a story in Smithsonian Magazine about a new quasi-moon or celestial object that's orbiting, shares the same orbit as the Earth around the sun. And I went to YouTube just to search to try to find some information about this last month. Every single YouTube video was like generative audio and generative video. Like none of that was all synthetic. I couldn't find a single result of a person talking about this headline. I think this creates the opportunity for content marketers, for brands to cut through the noise of this AI slop by actually focusing on writing authentic and real content. You've got a chance to skip right ahead of your competitors. Now, beyond just being authentic and real, I do want to talk about some actual examples of personalization or contextually relevant content at scale. The first is United Airlines, and there's a dedicated breakout session to the United story. But United at 100 airports in front of 36 million impressions or travelers that see the digital signs. Like there are 3,000 of these, like the gate signage inside of the terminals that are powered by Sitecore Personalization. You can see the items in red are coming from XM Cloud and Sitecore's media library, whereas the items in blue are connected through APIs. But the screen is rotating based on context and data to display contextually relevant information. I think it's a great use of moving beyond the website or the mobile app to show personalization in physical space. The next one might be my favorite personalization story of the last couple of years. Pods.com runs on Sitecore. Some of the AI work, I think they use like Gemini or an external model for this, but they set out to build the world's smartest billboard. And so they bolted this LED screen to a truck. And then their marketers carved up New York City into 299 distinct neighborhoods. And they knew that the truck would be connected to weather, some public data sets like time of day, the clock, subway delays, and then they used generative AI to ideate, almost like a team of interns that helped a small marketing team come up with 5,000 headlines. They, human in the loop, reviewed, modified, extended, edited some of these, and ultimately, within 2 weeks, they went live with this campaign where they drove the truck around for a 24-hour period, and you can see here, as the truck drove past the 2nd Avenue subway, it said, 2nd Ave is delayed, your couch shouldn't be, or 2:42 p.m. is the perfect time to move. Look at how clear the roads are. And the team launched this campaign in less than 2 weeks. They measured tangible results. Web sessions were up by 60%. Requests for quotes were up 33% in New York City. I think it's a really creative example of a small marketing team using AI to be creative and go a lot faster. This one example is Sitecore itself. There's a dedicated session to this one as well, but Sitecore built a modular account-based marketing campaign where you can actually go to sitecore.com/VIP/ and then there's 100 different account landing pages. They had a unique AI-generated video with Synthesia for every brand, curated case studies, this dynamic call to action that matches where they are in the email campaign journey. The team leveraged Sitecore AI and the new agentic layer to create nearly 100. Those are fully personalized or fully detailed pages. A small team using marketing to do something that would have been impossible or very time consuming just a few years ago. I think this is key. When there's a conversion event, there's personalized human outreach by an SDR to follow up with the account. So given the ability to hit a button and generate 5,000 headlines or 100 different pages, I think it's forcing marketing leaders to rethink what the team looks like or how they can work together to deliver business value with marketing. And something I've been considering a lot is the rising AI waterline of work. So some of the tactical near the anchor, some of the tasks at the bottom. Imagine you're hiring a new intern on your marketing team. What are some of the first things they might do? When you're just getting started, working for a brand in marketing, you might be fixing broken links or tagging images with metadata. You might be taking a screenshot of a component that doesn't look quite right on tablet or on mobile. All of these kind of repeatable or tactical things. And in many ways, AI is rising to displace those tasks. That AI waterline is taking over some of the more repeatable and mundane activities. Some of those repetitive or manual things are forcing marketers to swim up and above that AI waterline to be more creative, to be more strategic, to focus on higher level strategic activities like journey design and experimentation by using the tools that they have. Now, at the same time, I am concerned that a lot of companies are trying to use AI simply to pull like the efficiency lever or to focus on cost cutting and productivity. Yes, it can do that, but I think that's very short-term thinking. You can imagine like a typical corporate structure as a pyramid where you've got the C-suite or the executive leadership up at the top, a band of middle management, and then like a wide base of individual contributors or practitioners. And if you look at hiring trends, you're seeing a lot of brands that aren't backfilling positions, or they may not be hiring because they're leveraging AI to shift from a pyramid to a diamond-shaped model. And I think that's dangerous. I think, first, you can't shrink your way to success. That's a great quote there, but I think in a few years, like, you really need the folks that gain the business acumen or the fundamental understanding of your brand by starting at that base level to really build up the experience to be able to coach the agentic layer. So while there might be some short-term gains here, I do think that if the wider organization adopts these new AI tools and systems, they can do more creative and strategic marketing. And I've been talking for years about the ideal shape of a personalization team or an experimentation team. I think we have a new team member, and that's the generative agent. The center here, you've got the digital experience leader. I think Microsoft earlier today in the session with Michelle, she talked about the full stack marketer, and then some of the discipline experts. I really liked that analogy, but as always, it's important to ensure you have an executive sponsor who ultimately clears politically, like budgets or any political issues, and advocates on behalf of the project. You've got a digital experience leader who's day-to-day owning the tasks, activities, communication, and initiatives. And yeah, I do think that a generative agent or the new AI systems are becoming part of the team, like just embedded in day-to-day activities. So Sitecore does have a new agentic experience assessment. I'll be around at the core at the Solution Pavilion. I'd encourage all of you to come say hello. I can send you a link, or you can scan the QR code on your phone. It's a 10-minute assessment that you can take that scores your brand across these 5 different dimensions, and it's your maturity or your readiness to adopt agentic experiences. You get, based on your answers, you're dropped into one of 5 different levels of maturity or readiness, and you are benchmarked against your peers within industry. So finally, 5 key takeaways, and then I will close. I'll open it up for questions. First, modernize your MarTech for an agentic era. We saw at Symposium this week a lot of incredible new capabilities in Sitecore AI, and the folks that have done that work to move to XM Cloud, that have laid the groundwork to modernize their content operations. On Monday, a switch is flipped and they now have access to the latest new features. I think it's a high priority for marketing teams to shift to a cloud native and AI connected CMS or DXP. Second one is use AI to scale contextual relevance and not sameness. It's back to the baby peacock problem. Make sure that you're being authentic with your content. Don't use AI as a first draft, but use it to help you accomplish strategic work. Build memorable experiences that defy summarization. I think authenticity, keeping humans in the loop. And then finally, start small. Like, come up with a couple of key use cases for personalization or where AI could help contribute there. Prove the value, build the business case for further investment, and then make sure you're broadcasting success or broadcasting failures within your organization. Thank you so much for your time today. If you do have any questions, please send me a quick email, drop them in the comments, and I will try to answer them. And let's please connect online. And thank you for tuning in.